Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 4/2/2023, guys. So let us quickly get into the important news now. Five collegium picked judges to be posted soon. Center. See guys, the collegium, when it wants to appoint, it will select the judges and send them to the government. And government has to take a decision on that. It has been 2 months, but government did not take any action, did not reply. So the Supreme Court had told that delaying is not correct. For this, government told that there are so many vacancies. By the time you send it to us, it would delay. Similarly, this is also getting delayed. But somehow they have told that by tomorrow, that is Sunday, they are going to appoint these judges so that the Supreme Court will have full panel. Like now vacancies are there, full panel will be there. Only when full panel is there, cases will be completed sooner, right? So collegium system is going to continue till we get a new alternative system. Banking is stable, resilient, says RBI amid Adani imbroglio. The meaning of this is SBI and LIC. LIC comes under SEBI, SBI comes under RBI, and their main intention is to check whether, the banks are getting into trouble or not. Because whenever any company takes huge loans from the banks, and if they escape and if they don't pay, then that bank would collapse. And if that bank collapses, other banking system would also be severely affected. But fortunately, even SBI has told that what they have invested in Adani is 0.88%. So imagine when you have 1 crore and 90 lakhs of yours is exposed, then it's a problem. But you have just invested 1 lakh out of 1 crore, then it is not an issue because still you can sustain. So the media and others are trying to create an issue that, this is one of the biggest damage that can happen for LIC and SBI. The amount looks huge, but when it comes to LIC and SBI, how much they are exposed to LIC, how much they are exposed to SBI. If you see, it's just less than 1%. So LIC and SBI are safe. I'm not telling whether they have done some crime or they have not done some crime. What I'm trying to say is at least our systems are safe. Guys, another Joshimat like incident where in Jammu and Kashmir, Nai Basti, there is a place called Nai Basti where Chenab river will flow. And in that particular part, the city is actually sinking, right? The Chenab river is sinking. So that is one of the major issue for us. Fine. Please make a note. Urbanization you can write or hill development, anything. Along with Joshimat, along with Joshimat, recently, recently, we have observed that, we have observed that Jammu and Kashmir's, Jammu and Kashmir's Nai Basti, Nai Basti is sinking is sinking, and this is closer to Chenab Valley. And this is closer to Chenab Valley. So the region below is sinking, which has led to cracks in cracks in 21 houses. It's about the BBC documentary. Some people have filed the case, and Supreme Court has said they will look into it. Railways to ramp up booking capacity from 25,000 to 2.25 lakh tickets a minute. So, what is the meaning of this? Whenever we talk about, the booking capacity, so let's say it is 40,000, they want to make it to 4 lakhs or 5 lakhs. So, I think somewhere they were telling 40 lakh enquiries a minute. This is not possible in the 4G, but due to 5G, yes, they can bring that systems and ensure that when all of us, open IRCTC at the same time, that will not slow down, but it will have the capacity to reply to all the enquiries. For that, they want to develop a new system altogether completely. Yes. See, guys, this is the one where the damage has actually happened. Fine. The actual reason for this is still being seen, guys. But yeah, Doda district. Remember that also. Little to celebrate in Sri Lanka at 75. See, guys, India got independence in 1947 and Sri Lanka got independence in 1948. So it was just 1 year. So last year we celebrated our 75 Independence Day, and Sri Lanka is yet to celebrate its 75th this year. In Sri Lanka, they are trying to spend some 300 million, Sri Lankan rupees for this particular event. So people are asking, is this the right thing to do? Should we celebrate when our economy is in crisis? Similarly, when we talk about Sri Lanka has elections, guys, that is local elections, and people are still asking, is this the right thing to do when we have issues? So all this clearly indicate that people of Sri Lanka are more concerned about their own constitutional issues. Second thing is, Sri Lanka did not fight a violent struggle, guys. Nor Sri Lanka had a struggle similar to India, where you had Gandhiji and all going for mass movements and all. Many people tell Sri Lanka's freedom struggle was in the shadow of India's freedom struggle, and many elites in Sri Lanka were closer to Britishers, and they tried to rule, the others with the help of Britishers. And there is also a saying in Sri Lanka that, as it was not bloodshed, so they are considered to be weak, right? So there are many things within Sri Lanka. Let's not get into the depth. The article is written by a professor from Sri Lanka. It is his version. We can't use them in our answers as well. Going green, guys. See, yes, India has promised to the world that by 2070 we will be carbon neutral. We will reduce our emissions, almost like 1 billion carbon dioxide emissions we are going to reduce. We also have plans to move towards renewable energy resources. So when India has all these things, it's very important to ensure that the shift is in a planned manner. So India plans to move towards electric vehicles. Okay. When you move towards electric vehicles, what is going to happen? The petrol and diesel demand for producing electricity, sorry, for running the vehicles will be reduced. So your imports of petrol will reduce, but your imports of natural gas would increase. So you need natural gas for producing electricity. That would increase. But vehicles, when we are looking at it, that would decrease drastically. So the biggest issue we all have is about this particular one, where we are more worried about, if we are shifting towards electric vehicle, petrol and diesel would reduce, fine. But to produce electricity, we burn coal, which is considered to be one of the most dangerous one as it releases lot of carbon dioxide. So that's the reason India is planning to move towards green hydrogen and all. So let us see about it. Myanmar's junta must be pushed to hold talks with the opposition. See, in Myanmar, you have a democratic government which was removed by the military, and the military came to power. Fine. But as soon as the military came to power, everyone is criticizing the military that you shouldn't have. China, Russia is talking to the military. ASEAN is asking, please talk to the opposition. India is talking to the junta, but also trying to say, talk to the democracy. But outrightly, India is also supporting the military regime in Myanmar. So, all this clearly indicates that Myanmar is in trouble. But you tell me, guys, if I support junta regime, military regime, then they will not support, issues like, let me say, Nagas, Metis, other insurgency in India. Fine. But if at all I don't support them, if I don't support Myanmar, they will give weapons to Naga groups. They will give weapons to Metis. That would lead to insurgency in Northeast. So, India is looking at realism and trying to ensure that Indians are not affected because of the internal politics of this. Opposition persists with its demand for probe into Adani row. Yes, there shouldn't be any problem for the government if it is not done any mistake. So I don't know why they are allowing so much of issue. No proposal to use remote EVMs in upcoming elections. That is a proposal given by election commissioner that we should go for remote EVMs. Unfortunately, there is no response about that. Indian government is telling that no need of that now. Parliament is North Star of democracy, says Vice President. Government extends deadline for Lagarde solar scheme. See, guys, India has planned to ensure that renewable energy would be increasing, especially with respect to what we call as solar energy. And for that to happen successfully, in central government has extended the deadline because normally deadlines are not reached. Human rights activists say there is this BJP left Nadda Himanta Sharda scam, more funds for NREGS if needed. Everyone is criticizing about the NREGS scheme, so they are telling that let us give back. We will give more. Last time also they had given some 60,000. crores, but later they increased it to 73,000 crores. Indian companies' eye drops linked with 55 adverse events in US. Fine. So this is very, very important for us. First, it was like, two African countries, and now, you had an issue in Central Asia. Now you have issue in US where the eye drops that are being sent to US is said to have contamination, and people whoever have used it, they have lost the vision. There is some issues and all. So global pharma healthcare has recalled its product, and FDA instructed consumers and doctors to not to use it, right? So this can lead to lot of issues for Indian pharmaceutical companies. At one time when Indian pharmaceutical companies are going full fledged, we are seeing these type of issues again and again, and that is not correct. It's not about the government, it's about the systems that are present. We need to be careful, else countries like China and all try to create and use this specific issue. India to showcase success in rural and archaeological tourism at G20 meeting. Guys, India aims to have G20 meetings at different areas, and whenever these people come, they want to show those things because everywhere in the world they would cover the news, and that would reach to everyone, and the people may start coming towards India for tourism to see such type of things. So India wants to expose that. Antony Blinken postpones China visit after spy balloon is detected over US. So there are spy balloons in US, and when it is flying, people believe that it is from China, so they don't want to talk to China at this particular time. Pak to agree to tough IMF rules as crisis worsens. See, yes, China, Saudi Arabia, and others have told that only if IMF gives funds, we will give funds. Saudi Arabia has said the same, China has said the same. So now, to get Chinese money, to get Saudi Arabian money, Pak first has to get IMF money. So Pakistan is ready to ensure that, whatever they want, we will do. Pakistan has reached to such an extent that it has become worse than what we call as Afghanistan. SBI's exposure to Adani on December 31st is 27,000 crore. See no concern. You see this. Kara says group's borrowings at 0.88% of the bank's total loans. Does not see conglomerate facing debt servicing challenges. This is what I was trying to say. It's very, very minimal when it comes to such a huge organization. But opposition and all, they will always question, and they should question this. So these are some of the important issues that are there. Thank you.